dass die alle gelöscht sind.
So, hello everyone, welcome back. Yeah, we're just discussing the fact that we got Brennelt here some issues with his flight simulator. So after the update, nothing seems to work anymore.
Windows update, yeah.
Windows update. So let's see. Jeremiah, are you here already on the airport?
Yes, I'm here. I'm going to my sim and start it. It will last a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Right now, nobody else seems to be here, so we are already boarding the plane. And we are today in the fly-by-wire mod. So welcome back, my dear moderators.
At least Captain Alex will fly with you.
Okay,
I
good,
guess.
good. And Jeremiah also in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brendel, I hope you get the issues fixed quickly. Man, that's...
Yeah.
That's really
because I have another group flight tomorrow, and yeah, there I will take part.
Yeah.
But I will enjoy watching your stream.
Excellent. So I've not been in the fly-by-wire mod for quite some time. So let's just go ahead and start the APU straight away. And FMA, hello to you. Nice name. So we are currently on live weather and we are on live time as well. Fantastic. Oh, there he is. There's Gilend flying along. Nice. So we'll load the sim brief flight plan. Fuel and payload imported.
I'm doing good.
Okay. So that means flight time is 1 hour 2 minutes. And let's have a look here. So let's do that fast. And fuel. Let's do that fast as well. Refueling. Cool. Hey Bruno, you can sync fly-by-wire boarding and fuel to GSX, by the way. You are correct.
Welcome aboard the Captain Blackbox Twitch channel subscriber experience.
Blackbox, do there exist any walk-in airports anymore?
Where complimentary drinks, snacks, and
Like
premium
this
flight
one here?
entertainment will be served.
Um,
Thank you.
Hola, hola. BB711 beloved, BB711 beloved.
There we go. Muchas gracias. I hope you're doing well. Happy Easter. Yeah, there's some airports. I think there's some, for example, in Bologna, there's some parking stands where people walk in.
I never saw this before. I think, in Madeira or something. There I had about 100 meters from the exit of the building to the aircraft, and they forced us to go into the bus. The bus drove around for a minute, parked in front of the aircraft, just 100 meters away, and we could exit.
Yeah, I guess it's more like for insurance reasons. I know, I've seen that as well. It is silly, but...
Maybe it has some cash reasons, because the airline has to pay for the bus, and when you don't need the bus, they get more or less money.
It could be, and then they say, oh, you know, it's for security or safety reason. Good. So weather is good. Some thunderstorms maybe later on. We'll have a look. We'll see if that develop or not. We've got a bit of extra fuel.
What do you have for winds for the arrival?
No wind at the moment, so...
Oh, very good, yeah.
Broken 2000 like drizzle. We'll see how that works out.
Oh, hopefully the visibility is good enough for the circling.
It should be. It's more than 10 kilometers, so that should be fine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Good, and also with us here is Jeremiah. He's just loading in as well. And level 380, fuel required is, 6 tons is fine. So 6 tons we have. APU is running. Let's get the APU bleed air on. Disconnecting the ground power. And you're doing very well, Arthurika. That's good to hear. Good to hear. So that's good. Database init. Let's have init request here. Avianca 711.
Your AREC is outdated.
No.
It is to, I read this to the March 17th.
Hang on. Let me just have a look. Aircraft status. It says until 17th April.
Okay. I watched. Okay, I was wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Because I checked before, just to make sure that I have everything set. So, let's have a look. What kind of departure can we expect? So we're going by a Charlie Tango November.
There is only one departure.
Okay.
Nothing to choose.
So,
And there's only one runway where you can take off. The other direction is impossible.
that's true. So it's just the, yeah, it's called the Vuzvo 1 Arnold departure.
Hello, sir. I have a beautiful flight.
So we're going to take that departure towards 12. Sport 01, insert Charlie Tango November. Then we go flight plan route. And then Brennelt said we should try something crazy and fly the ILS approach with the circling. So let's have a look here. So that would be the ILS approach. Circle to land would be at about 4,700 feet. And circle to land. Yeah, we'll do that breaking off to the west here. And then land on runway 02. Sounds like a plan. So star is going to be the Matro 4 Delta. Everybody's on board. Fantastic. Let's save that. Approach. Let's save that. So Matro onto the ILS. That looks good. That's just a landing calculated, isn't it? So yeah, we'll just take the standard values. Although, how long is the runway here? How long is the runway? Yeah, 3,000 meters, and we have a NEO, so it shouldn't be an issue. Good, good, good. Alrighty. So let's go for the Alice Zulu there. That's the approach. Nova.
Is the NEO more powerful than the CO?
Yeah, usually it is, yeah.
Okay.
So there's one discontinuity in here. Let's have a look. Can we close that? Yeah. We can close that as well. And we are good to go almost. So I'm going to take performance. Do a config 2 departure. We'll take flex 55. Oh, in nice weight, of course. So 59.2, 6 tons. Performance 27, 28, 133. And so for the trim, let's just check. Payload, it says trim is 33.3, roundabout. 33.3, which puts the CG or the trim to about down 0.7, I would say. So init A page, B page, flight plan page, wrap nav, we don't need anything. Arm of departure. Secondary we don't have. Performance is set. So let's have a look here. Beacon's going on. Can't disconnect the ground power still. Cool. let's read a checklist. Oops, A320. There we go. Cockpit operation checklist. Gear pins covers removed. Fuel quantity 6,000 kilograms. Balanced. One fuel pump is missing. There it is. Balanced. Seatbelts on. ADRs. NAF. And bar ref is 1014. 1140 feet roundabouts. Cool. We'll go 10,000 feet here on departure. Before start, parking brake is set. Then we've got takeoff speeds thrust 127, 128, 133, flex 55. And windows, doors closed, closed, closed. Beacon is on, and that's the before start check is complete. Right. Let's have a look. Engine start. APU bleed is on. Fuel pumps are on. Good pressure. Starting engine 2. Oh, that April's Fool's Day joke today. Hey Jean, how you doing? From Parallel 42. I initially thought, no, that can't be true. And then I saw the buy button. And I thought, are you kidding me? Seriously? And then I clicked on the buy button. And then it said April's Fool's Day. It's like, you pig. Oh. I was honestly thinking finally Microsoft has come to their senses, at least in this part with the camera viewpoints. But no, of course it was a joke. Oh. Lovely sounds. So departure's going to taxi out to Charlie and Alpha. And then we're good to go. Hey, Yoda. Wie geht's? Flaps 2. Flight controls up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral, rudder, left,
Welcome aboard the
right,
Captain Black Box
neutral,
Twitch channel
and Alpha.
subscriber
Oh my god.
experience.
Hey, how
For
you
new
doing?
subscribers, please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Alpha, thank you so much for the 27.
Hey everybody, hope all good.
All good on my side. How are you? Happy Easter time. After start, anti-ice is off. Ecom status is checked. Pitch trim. I'm going to put this to down 0.7. Rudder trim neutral. That's the after start checklist completed. Radio. Let's go. I think Yoda bought a Porsche mountain bike. Or was it even a Ferrari mountain bike? I don't know. It looked very expensive. Right, I've got to squeeze past here. Let's see if that fits. Yeah, it'll fit. No, it's not Santo Domingo Republic. No. But the airport is actually called Santo Domingo. I was surprised as well. So let's pretend the cabin is ready. That. And actually, it's not ready yet. Now it is. And that's the cabin ready. Oops, cabin ready. So the text checklist: flight controls check, flap setting config 2, radar and differential system on and auto, engine mode selector normal, and ECMM or takeoff no, blue. So we'll do the lineup. We'll put all the lights on. Strobes are going on. And then we've got radar, TCAS all on. Terrain mode. Cabin crew prepare for departure. Approach sector is clear. And then we're going to go ahead and depart. Yeah, I'm going to have my bike serviced tomorrow. So when I get back from my next trip, I will start riding outdoors again as well. Good. Right, done everything. Start the timer. 10,000 feet. All good. Chrono on. Is that correct? No, it's not. Alrighty, let's go. Takeoff. Manflex 55 SAS, auto thrust blue. Lovely sounds. Thrust set. $100 knots. V1, rotate. For the right, gear up. Thrust climb. Out blue. Auto thrust, autopilot on. Flaps 1. Yeah, the surroundings again is so beautiful. Absolutely amazing. That reminds me, sharpen. That is all done. Nice. Oh yeah, much better. The full setup, hang on, let me just get the flaps up. The full setup you can see in the picture, the bottom right corner there, that's my setup. Oh no, Lilo, yeah, that happened to me as well. From time to time, forgetting to activate the scenery. So the transition altitude is in 18,000 feet, correct? Oops. Hello? Yeah, no, 13,000 actually, okay. So we're going to continue climb level 380. 380 it is. Jean, so hello, the Flying Teenager, hello to you, how are you? Lovely to see you. Hope you're all doing well. Spherics, greetings to Bavaria. How are you? Nice to see you. Grüß Gott, as they say down there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Passing level 100. All the lights off. Seatbelts can go off as well. Seatbelts off. RatNav clear sector we don't have. Fantastic. I am surprised that the performance of the fly-by-wire mod is still a lot worse compared to other aircraft. So I mean the FPS performance. A300 is easy to grease. Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, I managed to slam it as well. There isn't like full protection. I wish there was, but
Blackbox, what do you think to try the BAE 146?
I can't make any promises because I don't know what, you know, with all the renovation work starting next week.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I managed. Yeah.
But it is a nice plane. I think you would enjoy it, and it's not too difficult. With the built-in checklist you can go through, and after the second or third flight, everything is okay.
Spherics.
It's not like a 727.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard many good things about it, but yeah, like I said, you know, I just want to be sure that I understand the plane, I can fly it, and have bigger issues. Yeah, so somebody
there was
said,
just a bigger upgrade for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try. I'll see if I can fit it in somewhere. Fogbound Turtle, remember some fly-by-wire dev complaining that the Microsoft SDK is single-threaded and wishes for multi-thread option. Okay, that's, you see, that's one of those things, right? It's one of those things where Microsoft makes it so difficult for add-on makers to implement their add-ons. And I understand their frustration with that. Yeah, so Phoenix, they've done things outside. So, you know, they have optimized stuff outside of the Microsoft Flight Sim. So rendering for the displays and so on, many things have, you know. So they've done some really clever workaround to get the performance better there. Yeah. Multi-threading will be a major item for the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, I hope so. Especially when it comes to VR, yeah, absolutely. Oh, look at it. I love the surroundings. That's gorgeous. And we are on our way. So let's have a look here. So about an hour flight time. Cool. Yeah, I love these. All these flights have literally like 45 to 1 hour 15 flight times. And the next flight, so if you're interested, next time we're going actually to Quito, correct? So
I don't know actually.
Yeah, I think
have a look.
Yeah, I think today I saw it was going to Quito. Yeah, it's a just flight BAE 146. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Next one is Quito.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
Also a nice approach.
Yeah.
It is not Colombia, but it's nevertheless a very interesting flight.
Just trying to remember if Quito, what scenery I have.
For sure, you will have a paver scenery because we have been there a lot of times.
Well, I know I have P3D, a very nice scenery for that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you like, you can do the flight in P3D, but I think the visuals will be better in MSFS.
So, let's see. Good, so for the circling approach, what we're going to do is we'll have a look at our procedure page, or normal circling approach. So the idea is that
Oh wow, that's interesting that I can find this map in this app then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So hopefully we'll get more and more tips and tricks in here as well. So the idea would be, here we'll be coming into the airport, so it will be runway 20 ILS, and I would fly that with lock mode, so localizer mode and flight path angle mode, level off at a circling altitude. Then prior to the runway we'll break off at 45-degree offset, so 45 degrees. Once wings are level, we'd start the timer, 30 seconds. Once the 30 seconds have elapsed, we go downwind. And again, the configuration will be flaps 3, landing gear down, spoilers arm. And then we're going to start the timer, beam the landing threshold. And then for each of the 100 feet height above the airport, we'll be adding 3 seconds. So if the circling altitude day, and let me just check what the circling altitude will be. Circling altitude.
Isn't it always 1,000 feet above the ground or so?
No. So here, for example, today, it's going to be only 720 feet above the ground.
Okay.
So very low, low-level circling. So yeah, so 700 feet would be only 21 seconds, and there's no time correction. Yeah.
And how is the wind factor for the circling
Here,
time?
no wind corrections because it's so low to the ground. If the circling altitude would be, let's say, 10,000 feet or higher, then I guess I would do some wind correction. So it would be 1 second per knot tailwind less. If you have headwind component, which would be a bit unlikely, but if you have headwind, then you add 1 second per knot.
I think if you have 10 knots tailwind or so, something like that, then you are much faster, and so you are flying much longer track outbound than if you have a headwind or no wind.
Yeah, but they say if you're going at very low altitude, then there's just no need, because literally you have such little altitude to lose, it doesn't really matter anymore. So only at a high altitude you would add wind correction, but here you don't. Which do you like more, P3D or Microsoft Flight Sim? Well, I like each of those sims for their, for their advantages. P3D has many very good aircraft add-ons, which we don't have yet in Microsoft Flight Sim. And Microsoft Flight Sim doesn't have, a proper working radar, weather radar, for example. P3D does with the Active Sky add-on. Yeah, so there's always pros and cons, which with each of these simulators. Anyway, so once the time has elapsed, so today, after let's say 22 seconds outbound, we'll turn base. Maintain level flight, however, until we are sure that we're in the right path. Then we go with landing flap setting, complete the checklist, and get stabilized on the final path and the final vertical path as well.
You always stay on the circling altitude until you turn base, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So on base, the reason being is that you'll be pretty far away from the runway. So if you start descend immediately, then you'll be low before getting to the final. So the idea would be to look out the window and check and see if you can already see the PAPI, or of course, as always, you put the landing threshold in here. So let's see, Sierra Kilo Alpha Romeo 02 in this case, and then you would know the straight distance to the threshold. So at 700 feet height, the optimum path would start at 2.1, let's say 2 miles out from the runway.
Maybe it would be a good idea to program a extended center line and maybe a beam line so that you can see where you have to start your timer.
That's a very good idea. So I'm going to do that here. So I'm going to put a 2-mile radius around, first of all. And then we want to have the bearings. So it should be 203. Let me just check. Actually, it's 199, actually. So let's go 199 for the inbound. And so a beam would then be 289, where we start the timer.
Yeah. And the next question is, when you are on the glide slope, the ILS glide slope, how do you stop the descent at the proper altitude? I
would enter the altitude in the autopilot. So I would fly with localizer mode and flight path angle mode, and that way the autopilot will level off at the circling altitude. So I would put in today, I would put in 4,700 feet as a minimum.
And no glide slope use?
No. You will have
for the Airbus you can stop it. You can pull or push the vertical speed button, but I think for the 737 it is quite difficult to stop the descent.
Yeah. So everything is set here. That's good.
Top of descent is coming up.
Okay, so DEA chef. Okay, so which flight sim? Microsoft. You would have to look at the settings. So on the settings page, you have to choose your connection mode, and then flight tools. Let's see what else. No, we don't have the flight to live sim data. We need live sim data for that connection. Yeah, so I would say if it's not showing proper landing dates or landing data, then yeah, probably something's wrong with the connection regarding the values. So in the 737 you can just press Alt hold. Yeah, that's true as well.
You're sure that work? because I heard from some professional pilots that it is very difficult to stop the descent. You need to switch off the autopilot or something like that. I don't know exactly.
Well, auto hold mode should work. Hey, Edward the pilot, thanks so much for the raid. So we're flying the fly-by-wire mod Neo mod, and yeah, big shout out, guys. If you don't know Edward the pilot yet, I'm sure you all do, but if not, check out his channel. Good evening. What are you up to, Edward? I am using NVIDIA game filters. So I have sharpen color brightness. Oh yeah, we are in Colombia, by the way. So doing Colombia one engine out tour. And we're flying to Sierra Kilo Alpha Romeo. And there we're going to try the circling approach. Just for good practice. And for the memes. Edward, I hope you had a great great Easter time. And everybody else here, but that's here. Thank you so much. How do you have the layout? Okay, so I have updated it to the beta. There's a beta version for the NVIDIA, what's it called? Let's see if I find it. NVIDIA. Let's see, hang on. I'll give you the name in a minute. NVIDIA. Yeah, so if you want to choose it, look for the NVIDIA app, so the beta app. And there, yeah, you'll get a new menu. Edward, you did some shared cockpit today. The Phoenix works really well. Other than that, I've been studying and not called out, just chilling. Okay, nice. You're on standby, haven't been called out. Excellent, excellent. Shared cockpit in the Phoenix, okay. And what kind of issues you run into? I would be worried that you get some desync at some point and then you have no option to resync again. That's always my worry. Can you share your updated settings? Yes, I can do that, yeah. Although, I'll tell you what, so if you want, you can do quick screenshots from my settings here. So sharpen color. So just make a screenshot from here. And then brightness contrast is this. Again, these values are for my monitor. You may want to choose different settings to make it look good on your monitor. It's really synced up, actually. Very, very minor issues only, mainly related to loading using GSX, but it's just as reset and load instant again once boarding. All visual sim stuff completely works fine. Other than that, just sometimes small things, but it's super smooth even when my friend is sounding okay. Interesting. Well, I may have to look into that then. Jessica, fantastic. Yeah.
I have some issues with the PC black box. I have to restart. Okay. I'm back in a minute.
Okay, see you then. Edward the pilot, did you see the announcement today from Parallel 42 regarding 4K HDR camera system? I was a bit skeptical. I thought, hang on, 4K? And I thought like probably April's Fool's Day stuff. And then I saw the button for to order it, and it was like, a completely proper setup website with a buy button. I thought, hang on. And then I pressed the buy button, and then it said April's Fool's Day. It's like, oh, you... Oh. Man, that would have been so brilliant. I actually thought, you know what? How brilliant would that be that you get something like, you know, we had in P3D. Making windshield wipers possible only if you subscribe. Okay, that I didn't read. I mean, if I had read that, maybe then I would have you know, seen through it earlier. Yeah, no chase plane, unfortunately. Filter settings on Discord. Oh yeah, so for the NVIDIA filter, yeah, okay, I will try to get those up. Yeah. And Torsport, hello to you. Hand flying. Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, it's fine. It sounds like BMW too. Okay. Yeah, Edward. Even even now, even though I've set some keybinds to, but for some of these, suddenly they disappear. Those keybinds, or they do not work the way they should. Yeah, Torsport, pleasure. Yeah, replay mode, and yeah, there's so many things on the list, really, isn't there? So let's have a look. For the descent now, here's the ILS. So the Matro 4 Delta arrival, Matro 12,000 above, 21 DME from Alpha X-Ray Mike, Armenia 9,000 above, 15.7 at 86 and above. Let's have a look. Don't see restrictions here. Matro, we said 12,000 above, so I have to enter that manually. $12,000 above, then we have that 9,000 above. That is inserted, fantastic. And then we've got the next one, 8,600 above, correct. And then we go into the ILS. Five, 6, yeah, correct. Descend, minimum 4-7, circling approach. Fantastic. You're joking. Twitch is live streaming a rock right now and it has 12,300 viewers. Man. Sometimes you can make money so easily, right? You just have to have the craziest of ideas. Lol. Aviation TR, Ramon Gates. $80 miles till top of drop. Inanimate objects category. What other objects are they streaming? Maybe I can stream something else. Yeah, sometimes, I don't know. Have I tried Kerbal Space Program? No, I haven't tried that yet, no. Oh, I've got plotted pants, yeah, plants, plants, yeah, I do. Is that all? My God. How to make money in 2024. I'm doing well, thanks Aviation TR, yeah. At least for now I'm actually working a lot, so I've just come back yesterday from a tour and I'm going back to Frankfurt tomorrow for the next tour. So actually getting some flying done. Oh, you think that has to do with April's Fool's Day? I see. I see. Right. So there we are. Good. Let's do landing calculations. So we have a landing distance 2,300, actually 2,000, no, actually that's 2,300 meters. So 2,300 landing, no wind, 26 degrees, really? Let's look here. 28 degrees, 1015. Yeah, let's just do that here. 28. Elevation is about 4,000. Is it 4,000 feet? Yeah, around about 4,000. Runway heading is 019. Dry. Runway slope 0. 2,380 meters, let's say. Approach speed 135 knots. Weight is currently 63, that's fine.
I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back. Okay, so we have to take medium at least, but that's with additionals. So yeah, medium will be fine. We'll take order medium, and there we have it. Yeah, you're right. It is internet after all, right? So orbit medium, minimums, performance. So let's put the values in here. So we've got 28 degrees. Wind is calme. And connection is 1015. It was. 1015, yeah. Circling is 4,700 feet. Config full. When I talk to many people that say Microsoft has many flight errors, do you agree? Well, yeah, I've been. So people that watch my streams regularly know how often I complain about certain things here in Microsoft Flight Sim with flight dynamics, inertia, weather simulation, etc. So yeah, there's still lots of things that can be improved, and then people will tell me, hey, but Microsoft 2024 promises to have lots of improvements in these areas. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it'll have anything major changes here in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I think that is pretty much a dead horse. Dead horse in the sense you may get some scenery updates or something, but there will be no bigger updates to flight models, aerodynamic simulation and so on. Hey, Killian. Yeah, I mean, the thing is always people that do not fly real aircraft. So anyone that hasn't really been in the real aircraft and got the controls and actually did some turns, you know, climb, descents, maybe even some landings, they will not be able to fully understand you know, these arguments that real world pilots or anybody that flies in real life will make in you know, and in comparison to the real world. So yeah, P3D. So P3D is, you know, the basic vanilla P3D still has obviously a too stable flight feel, but there are some add-ons that can make it a bit more dynamic. Hey Josh, yeah, so you can't find a page for the P3D settings. Let me try to find them. Hold on. So under, actually, hang on. Let's do it a little bit easier, shall we? Hang on. Let me go to my webpage settings. So under blackbox711.com settings, I have all the P3D settings there. And if there's anything else you're missing, let me know, please. No worries. So under Discord, I normally have all those settings as well under Discord, but maybe the P3D settings have been removed by now, although let me have a look. No, if you go right down to P3D5 settings, they are still there as well, yeah. Just hey Blackbox, when I start descent from top descent point, I can't maintain chart published altitudes. Mind sharing the tips? So you mean like the autopilot doesn't respect the limitations that are on the flight plan? So there's two modes in the Airbus. One is called the selected mode, and the other one is called managed mode. So if you look at the altitude bottom up here, and I don't know if you know that already, probably you do. So you see an up arrow and you see a down arrow. So if you push or left click the mouse on the top arrow, it puts the aircraft into managed descent. So let me just show you that. So let's go down to, let's say, 20,000 feet. I put that to managed descent. You will see that circle there, that dot. That tells you that the aircraft is in a managed descent. So managed lateral path, managed speed, and managed vertical path. Now managed means it takes all the values from the FMS, including the restrictions. That only works in legacy mode. Okay, and we talk about the fly-by-wire mod, correct? I can't reach the limitations. You're too high or too low. Okay, so you need the legacy mode for this to work. Okay. So you need the legacy mode for the arrows to see these arrows on the pointer. Okay, I get it. In the Phoenix A320. Okay. So normally, I mean, I don't know if you follow the descent path. So in managed descent, so when you see that circle there, and even if descend early, the aircraft will only descend with 1,000 feet per minute until it hits the optimum idle thrust descent path, and that's shown by this arrow here, that little lightning arrow. So that shows you with the 1,000 feet per minute, the aircraft will reach the optimum path at this point, and from there it'll pitch down, thrust to idle, and then do an idle power descent to stay on the optimum path. So I'm going to put now 12,000 feet in here. Yeah, so I don't see any reason why it should not work, to be honest. Yeah, thanks, Student. Is there any more infos regarding, apart from visuals? No. Well, I don't know. Maybe there was a conference at some point where they have announced further infos, but I have not really heard anything major. I guess they're being pretty secretive about it. Wolfgang, dankeschön. Yeah, Josh, that would be helpful. Yeah, definitely. So if you record that descent and publish it on YouTube, then maybe I can see what's going wrong. Yeah. So now we can see that optimum path is coming in. That green dot there, and you'll go to progress page. You'll see the deviation there, vertical deviation 70 feet, and now it goes to thrust idle, and then it'll pitch down to maintain that path. Good. Signs on. So again, we're going to do the standard arrival, ILS approach, and the circling. And the circling we described already. 45-degree break-off, 30 seconds with wings level, go downwind again, a beam. The threshold will start timing. We've drawn in some lines there to show us a beam position. Then we have 3 seconds per 100 feet. Circling height is 700 feet, so we'll have about 22 seconds outbound. Turn base, and then check for the PARPI lights or the path. When it looks correct, then we'll descend in a nice stable fashion. Yeah, on the base turn we'll go flaps full as well. So initially it'll be flaps 3, gear down, spoilers armed. So all that we have to do then is to lower the flaps to full. And we're good. That is the idea. Checklist. Let's have a look for the normal checklist. Anything else we need to do? So I'm going to wait until we get altimeter set, and then we can read the approach checklist. Apart from that, right now, MSA is pretty high. So at least 18,000 feet. And then we'll be on the path here. Got some high obstacles here. 16,000 feet almost. The MSA is very high, 19,000. White area would be 7,000 safe. The first shading, 9,000. The second shading is going to be 11,000 safe. So here we need to be at least 11,000. Although, no, even 13,000 feet. So 13,000. Alright. So it looks interesting. Lots of terrain again. Yeah, Josh, my pleasure. All good. Thank you so much. Yeah, it would be great if they could make a world update as well from this area, so that we get rid of these cloud reflections, if you like, from the satellite imagery. Wow, I'm really surprised about the performance. Look at that, 46 FPS right now. With DLSS, I mean with frame generation. Wow. I honestly don't know what's going on now.
Could you try for a second to switch off the clouds? Maybe then the performance would be better?
Now it's 60 again. No, I don't know. Maybe something loaded in or something. Yeah, now it's 60. Really strange. Alex says, yeah, okay, right now? Okay, so maybe this, it has to do with the scenery or something then, okay. Transition altitude or level is 190. There we go. So, I'll wait a few more seconds. Although we're cleared to 12,000, so we might as well set 1015. 1015. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, RAM. It's not VRAM. So, yeah, 35. I mean, I have 64. It shouldn't be an issue, should it? But yeah, should the FPS drop again that drastically? Yeah, I'm gonna switch off SimBridge. Yeah, yeah, that's probably a good idea as well. SimBridge is needed for the terrain display, for example. What FPS do you get in P3D Heathrow? Well, to be honest, now with the computer that I have, I actually get, I would say, anything between, in London Heathrow, 45 to 60. So P3D really has improved with the multi-threading and so on. Also interesting, my PC now, when did I update my hardware? Oh, look at that rainbow. Was it last year? I think it was maybe almost 2 years ago now. Or like 1.5 years, so yeah, and as far as I can see, the CPUs have not gotten that much better, have they? And the GPU, I have the 4090, so that's still up to date. So let's have a look. Currently, 12,000 was no problem. We are 47 miles away. Elevation is around about 4,000 feet. Yeah, 4,000 elevation there. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, so the VRAM issues, you run into those when you use frame generation, right? DX12 with frame generation. That is definitely asking for a lot of VRAM. So that does make sense at the moment. Flight plan 50 miles. Yeah, all good. Yeah, I have 4K as well, yeah. Okay, some rain showers around, so will be an interesting approach. I am going to start slowing down. Take some speed brakes. Oh, the lovely sound, hear that? From the speed brakes coming out. That is very, very realistic. I like that. Yeah, so that's if you like London Heathrow, you have lots of traffic there with the model matching. So if the model matching also takes up a lot of VRAM, and yeah, it does hit on performance, absolutely. I have 32 in the spec list. Okay, interesting. I am pretty sure that I have 45 now. Let me just check. Not 45, 64. 45. Lol. No, 64. So we're going to go system. About. Yeah, 64 gigabyte installed RAM. So I need to update the specs then. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the clouds are nice, right? Beautiful. Let's continue down to 9,000 feet. According to the profile, we'll still manage to send out blue. 9,000. Bit of cloud surfing. Man, on our flight to Canada a couple of days ago, we had amazing view of Greenland. Don't know if you saw those pictures that I posted on the real world pictures. Let me just show you guys. Hold on. Hey Senchai, guten Abend.
It's amazing.
We had beautiful views. Yeah. Let me just.
I think it's very rare to see Greenland without clouds.
Yeah, it is rare. Yeah, we had the crossing at. Oops. Round about 56 north or something. I was saying, was it more 60? No, it was 60 north. We had the crossing. Yeah, it was still cold. So Sandestrom on the western side had -7 degrees. So that was indeed fairly cold. Right, so let's continue down. Descend out magenta, so it's going to respect that limitation there. And we're going to slow down further. Man, the terrain, always so impressive. Rain cloud, oh, look at that, it's pretty. Little rainbow there. Nice. Let's get the LS keys on. So as we mentioned, we're going to put this to localizer, lock star, and I'm going to fly this with flight path angle to our minimum. So now we have 5,600 for the final descend. Here comes flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 1.
You are so lucky that these clouds are not over the airport.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Could be though. I mean.
Yeah, could be. But on the radar, it's not a weather radar. It's only terrain.
Yeah. But anyways, we fly to a minimum, and then we have to see the runway and the surroundings. So we're already on the path here. Someone spoke too soon, yeah. Here comes flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. Just add a little bit more drag. We want to be down at 5,600 feet there. And again, we're fairly high altitude. 4,000 feet means we're going to have a higher ground speed or higher true airspeed. Yuck. Yeah, so these are the things. That's what I like about Microsoft Flight Sim. So that's so dynamic. So right now, I could be unlucky and maybe I don't see the runway at minimums. And then 10 minutes later, that shower has moved on. And so the next person coming in may actually have a good visual. So we just have to wait and see. Good, let's read the checklist. So we've got the approach checklist. Bar ref 1015 set. Seatbelts on. We have the minimum 4,700 feet set. Auto brake is medium. Engine mode selector normal. Here comes the rain.
2,500.
That's checked. Going to put just the flight path angle. Gear down.
2,500.
Is it? No, there's no practical reason. I just dial it down.
2,500.
And yeah, usually I would also go with round numbers.
You need to switch on some light in your cockpit.
Yeah, it looks like
almost dark.
Yeah, there we go. So we're a bit above the path, so I need to increase the rate of descent here to get on glide slope. And I'm going to dial in the minimum 4,700 for the circling. So lock. And we have now flight path angle speed. Coming back 160. And then hopefully, by the time we reach the minimum, we can see something. That is, you know, it's such a shame that we don't have a proper radar, weather radar working here. That would be so cool. Here comes flaps 3 for more drag. Flaps 3. So we have the circling configuration. Config 3, gears down, spoilers armed. Right, so there's the runway. We are lucky. We are so lucky. Oh my god. So I'm going to slow down 150 knots here. Wow, how cool! How cool is that? 1,000's checked. Out star. Let's level off. So I'm now going to dial in 45 degrees to the right.
Minimum.
Yeah. So the QNH is correct. We're about 800 feet above the ground. And then we're going to go right. So track out.
Minimum.
Continue. Now I'm going to dial in missed approach. Let's go back to at least 10,000 feet. So 30 seconds once the wings are level. There we go, wings level, 30 seconds. There is the runway.
Minimum.
And here we've drawn the, let me just get rid of the terrain mode there. So here we've drawn the a beam position for the timing. 22, 23, 25, 30 seconds. We'll go back to 19200 here. Reset the chrono, very important. There is the airport. And
minimum.
Oh, how beautiful. Continue. Right, let's start the timer. 21 seconds. Wow, we're so lucky that shower is not over the field. We would not have seen the runway there. Good. 22 seconds. Going to turn inbound now. Wow. That terrain, look at it. How cool. Right, manual flight here.
Minimum.
Continue. Now, there's the runway, flaps full. So landing checklist, economic landing, no blue. 2 miles. Let's start our descent here, and let's turn final. So now what we're going to do, we're going to try to pick up the PAPI lights.
1,000.
1,000's checked. Careful with the pitch. There we are. 1 red, 3 white. A little overshoot, which is quite typical if you are on a circling approach. That is so difficult to judge. Careful sync rate. Man. There we go. On path. I'm surprised how sensitive the pitch axis is here in the fly-by-wire mod. Still on path, beautiful.
$50, $40, $30, $20, retard. 10, 5.
Spoilers! Reverse green, decel. Vacate here, manual brakes, close the reversers. So let's clear the runway. Nice, Captain Alex is also doing the circling. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm quite happy with that. Little overshoot at the end, but how good is the fly-by-wire? Well, the fly-by-wire mod, again, you know, saying that it's a free mod, that's already fantastic. If you want to criticize things, I guess you could say, yeah, FPS performance is still something to worry about, and for me, hand flying it, I don't know what it is today. I need to check these sensitivity settings again on the pitch axes. That was very, very volatile. Yeah, at the moment, no. At the moment, they promised on integration with the Skalaki, but I guess we have to wait for an official driver from Skalaki, and as long as that's not out, you have to use the D-Flight driver. I mean, there's so many new hardware add-ons come out, but I understand if you already own the Skalaki, like, why would you want to buy another hardware? For those that don't have A320 hardware yet, so the FCU, then there's definitely some good hardware coming out. So APU is available. 1, 2. I'm going to watch Captain Alex's landing in a second. There he is. Do pilots in real life use trimmable horizontal stabilizer value or CG values, etc. CG values. So there's a cross check. So usually the captain enters the CG value into the MCDU, and he will say 0 fuel CG 23 point something, let's say. Then the first officer will check on the scale of the trim wheel. He will check, 23 point something percent, and then look at the unit 6 down, or 0.6 down or something, and then checks that value with the performance value on the performance takeoff page in the MCDU. So there's always like a cross check with these values. But usually the first reference is going to be the percentage CG. Very nicely done, Alex. Very nicely done. Look at that. Beautifully done, sir. GG. Pro pilots here. Jeremiah also doing the circling in the 737. That's even harder to do than on the A320. Gilend following thereafter. When park and brake is off while using P3FS labs, the plane doesn't stop. Is it normal? What do you mean it doesn't stop? vPilot, yes, thank you so much. So, sorry for the late announcement. So vPilot here is the developer of this beautiful add-on. And you can buy this add-on in the Microsoft Store. And it's a pleasure to fly here on the Columbia tour and then actually have scenery for it. So very beautiful. Thank you so much, vPilot. Is that on anybody in final? Let me just check. No. Okay, just make sure that I don't miss anyone. So let's operate the jetway. There it is. You'll be overhauling soon. Nice, vPilot. Let me know when you've overhauled. So Jilend is doing the missed approach. Jeremiah is circling still. Very nice. Yeah, so again, I was very happy with that circling approach. And the only way really to make sure that you don't mess up the approach is just to prepare properly. I actually have a different chart as well for the 320 circling approach. But it's the same thing. So flaps 3, gear down, spoilers armed, level off at MDA, circling, 30 seconds, then downward track, 3 seconds per height, 100 feet height, and so on. So, yeah, if you just follow that, you'll have a good chance of making the approach. So while Jeremiah is, he looks a bit far out, but hey, there we go. So nice terminal as well. And well, it's a small airport, isn't it? Aeroporto Internacional El Eden. Nice. Exactly. Thank you very much for making them, because otherwise we would be looking at just standard scenery here on this tour. Yeah, Jilend, no worries, no worries.
Where's Jilend flying around?
Well, he had to go around because Jeremiah was, I guess, a bit faster. So he overtook him. So
okay.
And Jeremiah is on base now.
Yeah, Jilend was last time also very slow, so I had to go into the holding.
But today he was faster. So that's a destination for the coffee area. So lots of tourism here. Nice. Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many beautiful areas already here on the Colombian tour. And today with that weather, look at that. It's so impressive. I love how I can see the clouds move. That's such a fantastic feature. But again, I'm missing the weather radar. But that was, that kind of weather makes the whole atmosphere look, more realistic. And then, like we saw in the approach, I mean, if that cloud here would have been in the final here on the last 2 miles or 3 miles, then we would not have seen the runway. We would have had to go around and try again, or fly the ILS or something.
I ordered that weather right for you, Blackbox.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much for that.
Even a nice rainbow there.
Yeah, very beautiful. Right, Jeremiah's turning final. Yeah, so the pilot, I mean, here's the thing. This is master. So the trim wheel and the settings on it, that is the master. that on the flight control page, that is a value that has to be sensed, and that is not the master value. So whenever you set trim, you need to set it via the trim wheel. And so you have the outer scale, the inner scale. Here, for example, is 30%, that's 35%. So if let's say the captain says CG is 33%, then you would have to look and estimate 33% here. Then you go to the inner scale, and then you would say it's down 0.6 roundabout. And then you can check that on the performance page for the takeoff. That there, I mean, in the flight sim, I guess it's the same because it's flight sim, and flight sim doesn't really do 100% correct simulation. Right, there's Jeremiah. So, I mean, you know.
Do you ever have to use the trim wheel in the Airbus in flight?
No, unless you have direct law, no. All right, there's Jeremiah coming, also looking very good. GG's for the circling.
How about
approach.
the 787? Do you have to trim there?
No, there is no trim wheel.
Oh, okay.
You only have the trim switches.
And do you need them?
Yep. So
or is it auto trim?
It is automatic trim. However, it's trimming the aircraft to a certain speed. So let's say you're flying 170 knots, you switch off the autopilot, the horizontal stabilizer is trimmed for 170 knots. So as long as you don't change the speed, you don't need to trim. But as soon as you change the airspeed in manual flight, then you have to manually trim yourself for the new speed.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit different to what you normally used to. Jeremiah coming in to land. Very nice.
It looks like a good landing rate.
Yeah. Into the touchdown zone, and with the 737 again, that's a little bit more difficult. Whenever planning to fly the ATR flight, I think next week sometime should be good for pilot. I will let you know. Yeah, I'm just gonna make a screenshot from that for the routing, and I'll try next week sometime. Is the max flex temperature flex max? Oh god, So you have to realize that every engine type has a different max flex. I don't know these off by heart. Right, I don't know them now because I'm not flying the 320s anymore. But even with the 320s, when I was flying them, I did not know these the max flex values off by heart.
I'm thinking about to create a new Columbia tour, especially for the ATRs.
Oh, nice. Do you hear that, V-Pilot? Ronald may do a tour especially for the ATR here in Colombia. But that would be brilliant. That would probably make it more interesting regarding, even more interesting, I should say, regarding destinations. So Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf version 2 will probably be released on Thursday. Nice. Give me a shout, V-Pilots. I'd love to have a look at it.
Charlie Golf, okay. There we have already been, but we can fly there again, no problem.
Yeah, right. Thank you much, V-Pilots. Whenever I set the trim on the Phoenix using the ECAM memo page, it always randomly changes during taxi. It shouldn't. I mean, the auto trim on ground is usually deactivated. So unless you have some button binding somewhere and accidentally trim the stabilizer, it should not trim. So on ground, you can only trim manually. There is no automatic trim.
It's not needed on ground.
The only thing that's automatic is after touchdown, the trim will reset to 0 automatically, even though you are on the ground. That's the only time really you have automatic trim. Otherwise, it will not trim automatically.
How again is the trim working in the flare mode?
Well, so contrary to, so you read the flare mode starts at 50 feet. It memorizes the pitch angle, and will then do a nose down pitch in order to try to achieve a 2-degree lower pitch within 8 seconds. But it doesn't trim the stabilizer itself. It uses the elevator to simulate a nose down moment.
And you have to counter that with your
Yeah.
flight stick.
Exactly. So you have to.
Why is it then needed to do such thing in the flight in the FMC? When you have to counter it.
Yeah, but that's supposed to give you the feeling, just like with conventional aircraft, where when you reduce the airspeed and the thrust in the flare, the aircraft will have a tendency to lower the nose. So any conventional aircraft will have that tendency. And that's how pilots usually, learn to fly. So they usually learn to fly in aircraft that don't have automatic trim. And so they are so used to landing and flaring, and then when flaring, you reduce the thrust. So that's usually one pitch down when the engines are below the wings. And then when the aircraft speed reduces, then also the nose will drop, because you would have to trim nose up to counteract that. So you don't trim in the last seconds. All you do then is just pull back on the yoke and hold that back pressure. And so for the Airbus pilots to have the same kind of feel to it, and I have to say I like that. I like the idea, because otherwise you would have to literally push on the stick to get the aircraft to land, which is completely counter intuitive.
But it's a matter of speed. I think if you are too fast, then you have to push it down, and if you're on the right speed, then it should set it by itself.
No.
So I think, or at least.
No, the A320 will always trim. So it doesn't matter if you're too fast. And in manual flight, the autopilot will the system will automatically trim the stabilizer to that higher speed, and then when you slow down, the stabilizer is moved automatically to the lower speed. So you don't have to move the stick. So that's why you have to have that flare mode, and then counter with the nose down movement with a very slight stick back input, and then hold that stick input. So here's Gilend coming on final. Nice. I like the way they all tried the circling approach. Well done. GG's. Okay, nice, Organ Aviator. Let me know when you finished the for the takeoff performance calculation. Yeah, CFM engines. Nice. What's worse that can happen? Your trim and okay, so I mean, the engineers will usually take these things into account. So how can a wrong trim setting come about? Well, whenever you have the loading different than what you have then at the end on the load sheet, then of course you would set a certain trim setting, thinking it's the correct setting, but the loading is different to the load sheet, and hence the actual center of gravity is different. However, the elevators have such a huge range that even when you have a wrong trim setting for the stabilizer, normally the elevator deflection is enough to counteract. And let's say, for example, you do a takeoff run and you are at 80 knots and suddenly the nose goes up. And that has actually happened. Not to me, but I know that there are flight reports out there that tell you that happened. Of course, you will know immediately that something's really, really wrong with the aircraft trim, and you would abort the takeoff. The other side, what can happen is you want to rotate and you do normal inputs, but the aircraft nose doesn't rise because the CG is just so much more to the front. Nice landing. GG's. Excellent. Well done. So you have to then pull back, fully. But there, as you speed up, look at that rainbow. As you speed up, the elevators become more and more effective. And so the aircraft will still lift off, however, somewhat delayed. I mean, it's not a good thing to happen, but I've never heard... Well, unless the whole center of gravity goes out completely out of the flight envelope, and I mean the flight envelope in the sense of... Let me just go get the loading here. There we go. So this sign line here, that's the flight envelope for the trim, right? So as long as your actual center of gravity for takeoff, let's say, the blue dot there is within that area, you're absolutely safe. Now, of course, the engineers will put a buffer around that. So even if the actual center of gravity is outside, you will still be able to fly the aircraft. It won't really fall out of the sky just yet. And what I can say regarding the trim settings, so you see the green area. So as long as you're within the green area with the trim setting, you always have enough elevator authority to overpower the wrong stabilizer setting. Right, so only when you go outside of that area, then you can actually get into trouble regarding wrong CGs.
How can you quickly switch off the auto trim when you maybe have a trim runaway or so?
Well, the only way you can get the aircraft into, well, even alternate law though is auto trim. So I would usually say, the easiest way to do really is just grab the handle, just grab hold onto the trim wheels. You can stop the movement. Okay. But there is no switch here in the Airbus regarding stabilizer. Normally the systems would notice that automatically and stop the movement. I mean, that's what they're done. I know that on the Boeing aircraft you have stabilizer cutout switches. So if you have a runaway trim there, you can switch off the electronic control to that system. But here in the Airbus, you would just have to grab onto the wheels. Stop that. Yeah. And I have never heard about any instances regarding runaway trim on the A320. Cool. Thank you so much, everyone. So, Brendan, I hope you get your simulator sorted out quickly so that next time you can fly along again.
I hope so.
Yeah. Thank you for those that have flown along today, and well done on the circling approaches. Man, excellent approaches. Good landings. Yeah, GG's.
Renald, thanks for planning these approaches.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yes, I will second that. Thank you very much, Brennan, for all the work that you do. And guys, have a great week. I will see you again probably Saturday when I'm back from our next tour. So big thank you to the huge support as always, guys. Stay safe. Thank you for the raid, Edward, once again. And yeah, enjoy flight simming. Okay, hang on. Before I go, when's the next update coming up from
Good night,
Microsoft?
Black Box.
Mighty moderators, thank you so much for all your help. Big round of applause. So when is SU-15 now supposed to release? I've completely lost track of when it's supposed to release.
It is delayed for some problems, I think.
Yeah, it was delayed, but they did announce another date, didn't they?
I don't know.
I want to try out the Inibilt's A320NEO. So we'll see how good or bad it is. Anyways, guys, stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you very soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.